You guys are doing a great thing. It's such an uncomfortable topic to talk about, especially for a guy, young guys in their early 20s. And, I'm glad that, I could tune in and, listen to you guys.
Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. Phone number is 888-659-3727. No apologies. This is just what it is. Do my best to get here live. Sometimes you can't do it on the exact time that you guys want us to be here, but we're still here. This is the Hair Loss Show. We are here to provide you with anything and everything hair loss. We are not just two schmucks sitting in front of a camera talking about hair loss. I mean, maybe schmucks in other respects.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But I am the founder of the American Hair Loss Association. Yes, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization for consumers that has been around for well over 2 decades at this point. And believe it or not, I've never drawn a salary from the American Hair Loss Association. Every other director on the planet who owns, runs, works for a nonprofit draws a huge, in general, salary.
In general, yeah.
And I can tell you this, in this industry, there's at least one nonprofit that I know that the director hires their own company, and I said their own company as, I guess, the administrating company for the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning this person gets a salary as a director and a lot of money for her own company.
Oh.
For their own company to run the organization. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's a conflict of interest. Well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly a conflict of interest. But it could also be interpreted as being illegal.
Ooh.
Notice how I use the word interpreted?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And if there was anyone to look into it, I would say that this particular organization would definitely lose its nonprofit status. At the very least, it would be audited. Back taxes would be accrued, plus penalties. It would be a complete mess. Now, do these people give a shit? No, they don't really. They don't even understand it. And that's why I admire this director so much.
Yes. They have done a good job.
This person has, honestly, what they have been able to accomplish for themselves and their families off of this, running this organization, is miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. With that said, I have chosen purposely not to ever draw a salary from the American Hair Loss Association, period. Either myself or my family. Everything's 100% voluntary. And yes, it's nonprofit. All the information on it is legit, free, no selling anything. I know it's hard to believe in this world, but that's just the reality of it. Not because I'm such a great person, but it's because I understood how dirty this industry was and still is. And I also knew that I could impact and affect change without having to take an extra $250,000 from my nonprofit. So why the F are we here? We're here to we're here to guide you in the safest possible direction when it comes to anything and everything hair loss. We're two guys who've been in the field, in the trenches for many years. Joe Tillman, the original hair transplant mentor, has actually worked in clinics directly. It's had like 18 or so hair transplants, if I recall.
You know, what was funny is if I correct you, it still sounds ridiculous.
It does. What is it, 11?
Like the truth is still silly, 10. It's like, who has 10 hair transplants? But as I've said before, to clarify, it's not 10 hair transplants where I'm trying to get as much hair as possible. Some of those were experiments, like 30 grafts. Some were one was a scar revision, that kind of thing. So 5 that were actually meant to do something.
And I would say that, and I've seen a lot of hair transplants, and frankly, I'm seeing a lot in the wild now, more than because 15 years ago, you couldn't really see them.
Yeah, now you can.
Yeah. And I'm talking about from a block away. I'm not even kidding. I could be walking down the street and there's like three, like, I don't know, Albanian guys all smoking cigarettes here in LA with the same insane hairline walking towards me.
Yeah. You think that they're coming after you.
And I'm just like, are they gonna ask me for help, or are they gonna offer me a cigarette because I could use one after all these years?
That's good.
I don't know if it is good. All I can tell you is this industry is, and I just repeat myself week after week, year after year. It's just getting worse. The black market, the so-called black market, everyone's blaming Turkey for the black market. They're just the best at it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, they took the model that was developed in the U.S. and went all Henry Ford on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually that is spit all over the mic. That is a great. Is it analogy? Is it an analogy? Metaphor? Analogy.
Sure. Analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, that is the truth. They went completely Henry Ford on it, man. They scaled this to a level that we could never ever imagine. And the fact that the grand poobahs of this organization, not my organization, but the trade organization, claims there's some sort of a black market. Hold on. Why did that all of a sudden come on, Joe? What's going on here?
What came on? I didn't see.
My fucking volume. Sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. But the grand poobahs of this organization developed this campaign to essentially fight themselves. It's wild.
It is.
And what's even more fascinating is it's almost like the Streisand effect. The more that they focused on this so-called black market, the faster it grew. Because the messaging, negative social proof, always does the opposite. What you want to do is you want to educate people. You want to tell them the truth about the industry. Listen, this is what I would do if I was in a leader of the ISHRS. I'd be like, listen, people, we fucked up. We didn't run things correctly. We made a lot of mistakes. But now we're trying to do better.
I have to correct you on something.
Yeah.
I know you don't like being corrected, but it has to be said.
I don't mind being corrected as long as it's not from an idiot.
The campaign didn't backfire because people would have to see it for it to backfire.
You're so mean to these people, and they like you. That's the thing.
But it's like, in order for it to have the negative effect, it has to have effect in the first place.
Yeah, that's very well said. You're absolutely
no
right.
one saw it for it to have the opposite effect. Try as they might, they should have spent the money creating the ad to actually promote the ad. Then someone might have seen it. But here we are, 6 years later? 7 years later after it started. And I think 7 people have seen it. So,
well, it's interesting because I did see an interview with our boy Haber and Ricardo Mejia, kind of congratulating, talking about the Fight to Fight campaign, and and Haber has this thing in his head like, well, we're the only organization that ever put their money where their mouth was. Yeah, I mean, did you really? Meaning you wasted your members' dues and your investments of the organization into a completely ridiculously put together, organized, feckless campaign, benign, almost negligent in my view.
Everyone in the chat room was like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
This is what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who contacted me, a 59-year-old guy who I'm hopefully going to be speaking with from New York City, who contacted me to let me know that he flew overseas to a Turkish clinic to have a hair transplant from New York. Had his blood work done. They said he had HIV. Then they upsold him the HIV package or whatever it is. And he went for it. Like, I got to tell you, if I just found out I have HIV, I'd probably be like, you know what? We may want to put surgery on hold. But whatever, I get it. He took the time off of work. He's already there. He's like, fuck it. I have HIV. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So they upsold him the HIV package. And then he comes back to the States, gets tested again. They're like, you don't have HIV.
Oh, my God. They faked his test results so they could upsell him.
I don't know if they faked it or what, but it's pretty mysterious.
I've heard everything. Oh my God. Let's give this guy the HIV story.
It's pretty mysterious, and it happened. And
allegedly.
I believe. Why would he contact me to let me know what happened? I didn't say what clinic it was. I don't see what clinic it was from.
Fair is fair. Allegedly.
You know?
Yeah. Unless he's got a video, a hidden camera video of the whole exchange, it's allegedly. But
well,
it's a great story. Regardless.
If he's willing to come on camera and tell a story, I don't think it's too alleged.
No, fair enough.
And no, I'm just saying, and I got to tell you what's sad about this incident. I don't know what his results are like yet.
And if the patient's listening, I'm just joking around. I don't mean to sound like a dick.
I don't think you sound like a dick.
Okay,
I will tell you, there are times you do sound like a dick. This is not one of them.
And I accept that. I am completely okay with that too. Just so everyone knows, I'm okay with that.
So I posted on a very off hour just before the program to see how it would do, and also to get people's attention, to drive them to the program a little bit. Mm-hmm. Showed them my bald spot again. It's not doing terribly, but it's kind of like. Did you see it?
I just glancing right now. Yeah, I didn't hear it.
And no vanity involved. Crazy bathroom lighting. Didn't even try to figure out, how the camera's going to pick me up more naturally. Show my gray hair more, whatever. Just shot it, done. That's me. That's a 60-year-old man in his bathroom right after he blow dried his hair. No paint, no hairspray, very vulnerable.
And by the way, everyone listening or watching that's always been calling for Spencer to show this bald spot of his.
Oh, what you're diminishing my bald spot now?
No, I'm just.
I mean, how do you think that makes me feel? I've suffered.
Others were diminishing your bald spot. I see it. Of course, it's not a bald spot. It's a thin spot. I mean, let's call it spade a spade. But I understand.
But it would be a very bald spot if I didn't take this goddamn medication for 30 years and risk my life.
Okay, risk your life, exactly. But for those of you that have been calling for him to show it, he has shown it in all of its glory on his Instagram at Spencer Kobren. So I highly recommend that you check it out so you can see for yourself.
Well, and I showed it in like the worst possible way, actually. Like I had just woken up. I had not painted the day before.
Yeah.
I happen to have very greasy hair too. And especially the thinnest areas look very greasy. Mm-hmm. So that is like, it took a lot from me. I know that there's a lot of people out there who provide a lot more access to their personal lives and to their scalps and to other issues that they have. For me, it was not easy. I have to tell you. You actually wrote me to tell me you knew that wasn't easy because I'm such a nut. I'm unwell.
Yeah, you're unwell. That's the best way to say it. I'm just unwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say if I wasn't as unwell as I am, I don't know if I would have done. I definitely wouldn't have been behind this mic. Would not have done what I've done over all these years. I certainly wouldn't have combed this earth to find an effective hair loss treatment for myself back in the '80s, and not fall into the clutches of Norman Orenstreich, who I was sitting in his chair.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't relatively unwell, or at least, let's just say, hypervigilant.
Or at least sensitive.
Yeah. I mean, look at you and Dave Anderson. I just saw his clips with you. I mean,
which he is doing an awesome edit job on those. Like, what the? Wow.
But if you guys were unwell like me back in the day, you would never have gone through this.
If we were smart back in the day, we wouldn't have gone through it.
You were just very relaxed people, like, whatever. Yeah, okay, I'll go for it. Let's get a hair transplant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm looking at the guy's hands as he's like trying to look at my hair, shaking. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, who looks at that?
Who looks at his hands?
Yeah.
This guy does.
You know? I want to know, I mean, listen, I had a hernia operation back in the day. I was 21 years old, pretty naive, but I needed this operation. And right before I go under, I see my doctor in his scrubs. He has a pack of Kent 3 100s. Remember those?
Yeah.
And as I'm counting down, I'm like, this is not going to go well. Now, it went okay. I mean, I ended up with a lot of pain for a long period of time. There were no long-term complications. But that's just the way my mind works.
He ashed over the wound.
Yeah. I'm thinking, first of all, this guy's a surgeon, he's smoking. But yeah, it was the late 80s. Yeah. So
yeah.
Everyone smoked.
It's back when smoking was good for you.
Yeah. And he didn't tell me, there was no post-operative, because I smoked back then. I was 21 years old. There was no post-operative, don't smoke. We didn't know anything like that. Yeah. As soon as I got out of the hospital, the first thing I did was light up.
Light up, yeah.
You know?
Dude, I can't count how many Italians in the middle of surgery get up so they can step outside with a bloody head and have a smoke break.
You know, I have to say that there are some people in this world who would consider that to be a racist comment. I'm just saying.
Okay. They're welcome to it.
Dude, I miss being able, and I happen to be Jewish. I miss being able to just sit behind this mic back in the day when I started talking about Italians and Jews and brothers, and just be free to enjoy our stereotypes and have some effing fun.
That's right.
Hair loss sufferers, you know.
I have to say, speaking of Italians, it was nice yesterday because I was at Dr. Wong's office with a friend of mine that was getting a surgery.
Yeah.
Gong. And a patient came in from the previous day, and he was Italian. And I'm sitting there on the couch with my laptop just doing some work. And he walks in, and he looks at me. He's like, Joe Tillman. Joe Tillman. See? I was like, yeah. And nicest guy. And showing me pictures and tell me he watches us. He's seen all my videos. And it was a nice flashback to when I actually worked at the clinic and we had like all these Italians coming in. So it's kind of a nice little.
You know what I love about Italians is like, and like Koreans and Chinese is like, again, I say, again, I'm an ex-young smoker, but I still, like if I get loaded, I'll bum one. But these people don't care. They just smoke out through their entire lives and somehow just live well.
Yeah. It's all the olive oil.
It's goddamn olive oil.
Yeah.
Guys,
by little old ladies.
Guys, this is a call-in show. Again, last week, I mean, what's going on? And now this week, there's not a line that's lit?
Is the phone working again?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
working.
Love that sound.
It's working. I mean, what's wrong with you people?
Well, let me. I want to dive into the subject of today's show.
Let's do it.
Do lasers work on mice? And there is a new product that has come out, and I was reading the announcement, and I was just shaking my head and I was chuckling because it's just like, when does this end? And there's a new laser helmet, laser/LED, and I have no idea why you would combine laser and LED.
I had someone try to convince me why, but go ahead.
It's not 92 diodes. It's not 135 diodes.
It's not 288 diodes.
It's not 288 diodes. It's 500 fucking diodes in a helmet.
Yeah.
And the claim is the most powerful with medical grade LEDs and medical grade lasers, of which there is no such thing.
There is no such thing. Do not tell that to certain doctors in this field. But yeah, there's no such thing.
God bless them, and we love these guys, but and there's a $400 discount, so you can buy it for $1,800.
Yeah. I am in the wrong business, brother. I should have taken the money 24 years ago when I had the chance at the $500,000 a year. $500,000. God, I'm so stupid. $500,000 a year back in 2001.
Yeah. That's $1 million.
It would have been a $500,000, 5% increase annually.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they would have continued on for 25 years. I have a feeling they would have, though, because now they have more competition than ever, and they would have been able to separate themselves, proprietary growth strategy for themselves. And I'm just like, can't do it. Can't do it. Who would have been upset with me? Nobody. I mean, like, what was I thinking? No one would have known the difference.
Your pop would have been upset.
My pop was upset when I turned it down. He was alive back then.
That's right, yeah.
But who would have known the difference? Like, what was wrong with me? I think about it these days. I mean, I figured it out, luckily, but God, that would have been great.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I'm not shitting on lasers like that they don't work, because I say that because there's some comments about, well, I tried this, it didn't work for me. It's like, I get it. I have seen results where the patient supposedly did nothing other than laser treatment from a comb or from a cap or whatever the hell they're doing, with actual measurable improvements, quantifiable visual improvements. Can't hurt, although Joe from Staten Island thought that it did him. Burned his hair.
He actually thought it was more of the compounded topicals that affected him.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I thought it was from the laser cap that or the comb. Did he have a comb or a cap? Regardless.
Yeah, it was a combination laser cap and topicals. I believe that was the topicals that made his hair fall out.
Yeah. Well, that I can believe. It's just I thought he was blaming the laser, but
he may have been blaming it all.
Go call in and clarify. Remind us.
He was blaming a particular doctor for it. It's like, Joe, I told you.
Yeah.
Do not mess with any of this stuff.
Yeah. And he couldn't resist. God bless him. I hope he's doing okay.
I think he's doing great.
Yeah, he was doing great last time he called. Sounded like a different guy.
We do have a call on the line, which we're going to take. And I just want to, for everyone where I promoted, what happened with my flashlight on like an old man? For everyone who, I said my $250,000 hair transplant offer, who may be viewing this, God almighty, watching this because of my Instagram post. I didn't get that offer because of the last post that I made, but I did get 3 new hair transplant offers, which I'll tell you about. But the first part of the $250,000 hair transplant offer, which I can tell you is, this is not too long ago, less than a year ago, about a year ago maybe. It happened to be a Turkish clinic, got respect that they could afford this. They offered me through Instagram initially, and then they wanted. Then there was a WhatsApp convo. I was just curious about it. I told you, Joe, and I've said this on the show. $250,000 basically as a signing bonus, a free hair transplant, and $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month plus the $250 just to be a part of what they, to promote them. Just to promote them. Just to say that they perform hair transplant surgery on Spencer Kobren, which I don't see why that's that special, but apparently it is. And I'm saying this to illustrate just how much money these companies have to just throw out. All these influencers that they're paying. I'm pretty sure that this was the biggest offer as far as the initial signing bonus, as far as the smaller influencers. Maybe someone like Chris Bumsfeld or whatever his name is got a bigger offer. I don't know. Or maybe it was just, at the time, a free hair transplant and some money. I don't know what his offer was. But this is the way that it works in this world. And then after I posted my bald spot, I had a couple of offers. One actually down from a company in Miami who's really promoting themselves, which I'm like, do you even know what I do for a living?
That's what I love about
guys. Hold on, we'll take your call in a second.
Like a clinic that I visited as an undercover for an undercover documentary I did. A few years later, they sent me an offer. They're going to pay me $10,000 to come have a hair transplant.
I remember that
at no cost, and fly me first class with a friend. And if I didn't want to have the hair transplant, my friend could have it, but it'd still be both of us first class, 10,000 euros actually. And it's like, did the doctor actually run this? Like, did you run this by the doctor so he could approve this? Because I think he'd probably be pretty upset if I showed up, or maybe be happy. I don't know, but yeah,
it'll be all forgiven if they're able to exploit you. It would have been all forgiven.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I shook his hand a few years ago when I was in Turkey at a conference, and the look on his face was, I wish I'd recorded that. That was gold.
Was it sweaty? Was it clammy?
No, it was normal. His hand wasn't clammy because the reflection off of his teeth would dry up anything that was moist. So
he had the super white Turkish teeth.
Yes, he had the Turkish teeth.
Did you got to go? First of all, they're not even veneers; they are crowns. But if you go for veneers, you got to go. You can get them super white, but you got to go at least 3 shades less than Halle Berry white, and they'll tell you that when you're sitting in the chair. So they may look whiter than most people's teeth, but if you go super white, it's just kind of like, all right. I know my friend. I'm not even going to mention his name. He flew to Turkey. He lives in Ireland now. Flew to Turkey. Went in to get the choppers done. That's all you can see at this point.
Yeah. Could see them from the space station. Anyway, who's on?
Look, I have white teeth, and there's a couple of people who had Turkish hair transplants that commented on my white teeth. Because the light will hit them in a certain way. I'm just like, dude, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. See me in person. Instagram is so funny. I'm sorry that I'm distracted, guys. I'll take your call, but I'm trying to figure out this algorithm, figure out this thing, and how to get attention to the show and to get people the truth. When you just post the truth, it doesn't work. That's the problem. A good segment from the show, just telling a real truth bomb. You can't tell the truth and be very popular on this
you gotta make
platform.
some clickbait.
It's insane. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Spence, Joe.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Hey, this is Tom from New Jersey. How are you?
Hey, Tom from New Jersey. What's going on?
Can you hear me okay? Because I'm calling you from inside my car.
Yes, I hear you great.
Yeah.
Dude, why'd you send me that?
Hey,
What's happening, brother?
Spencer.
Yeah.
Hey, so Spencer, I've been listening to you since, like, when you were on OR and WABC.
Wow.
I got on Propecia in the summer of '99, and for me it was like it was I guess a miracle drug. It did everything that it was advertised and more. It stopped the progression, and then I grew close to a full head of hair back. I mean, it was 28, and so it did what it did, and intermittently. So that's what is it now? It's 2025, and I've been on and off it, and even on the generic finasteride. And I still, have got, it's definitely, noticeable, kind of that horseshoe pattern, like, to me for sure, like, the wind and the rain.
The wind is not my
friend,
friend, brother.
Yeah, no, the wind's the wind's a mortal enemy, and the rain and any type of water if you're out at a beach or a pool. But
and Joe, when he gets drunk, you got to watch your head of hair with that, because he'll give you noogies. It's a whole thing.
Right. Oh yeah. But I just did get back on it, and on Propecia, not the.
And what made you get off of it?
Well, the first time I got off of it was probably 2 years in, when I was taking it every day. And the first time I got off it was because, and I've called you before, Spencer, like sporadically over the years. But I think I've described this too. So it was that the side effect where you feel like you have to urinate, like, multiple times every day. And you don't really have to, but there's just sort of that feeling, I guess it's a pressure that's built up maybe on your prostate. So that was a real sort of pain, and I didn't exactly know what it was. But then when I stopped taking it, it did. I was transient. It did go away.
So it's like you had prostatitis.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, it did go away after I, stopped taking it. But my results were so good, for those 2 or 3 years that, the effect lasted quite a while, till I certainly noticed, say, like maybe, I don't know, I'd say I probably didn't get back on it until maybe 4 or 5 years later. And so it's been intermittent, but I definitely noticed when I got my last haircut, because I've been going to the same guy for quite a while, when he cuts your hair, your face in the mirror right there, and he wets it before he cuts it. And I was like, holy shit. It's time to call my primary and get a prescription again. So I'm just hoping that, I don't think I'm going to have the same results I had when I was 28, but,
you'll be surprised, actually. It's interesting, because if you're a good responder as a young man, yes, our bodies change and they evolve, or actually they devolve in a sense. But
oh, for sure.
Some people, and I've known people who've done similar things intermittently like you, where they gotten off the drug for a few years and they didn't lose a tremendous amount of hair, luckily. Then they got back on it and they had this second surge. They were all impotent, but their hair looked great. Just kidding.
Great. Well, that has never been an issue. That has never been an issue with me, thank goodness. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, my next Instagram video, I'm going to do a wet towel video, I think.
I'll watch that.
Everyone will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a hand towel, but whatever.
Nice. What the hell was I going to say, though, again? But I just wanted to transition from that a little bit, because just listening to you and Joe, like, again, and really watching you, because I watch it on, you guys on my phone. But, and Joe, every time I listen to you, and because I don't know if this is going to be something, because I'm friggin' 55 now, but like, I know Spencer mentioned you're 60, and how friggin' time goes so fast. And I think I could probably mention, I think I probably said to myself when I first started, if I can keep my hair for another 15, 20 years, that'll be okay. And then, whatever happens after that. But, say like 10 years from now, or 15 years from now, when I'm 65 or 70 if I want to go the maybe the transplant route. And I just listening to you guys, and you're both together, great. You know, you're the man. And Joe, I don't really hear you guys saying anything positive whatsoever about transplants. I mean, do you think you can name me, like, say, a well-known figure, be it celebrity, whoever, that you think has gotten a really good transplant, and who the doctor might be? I mean, who would
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk.
Would be that?
Let's just go to Elon Musk. Yeah, and I'm not going to reveal a doctor
Really?
because I know who the doctor is, and it's not my place to say.
Okay. Well,
what we can say is that he's had at
Yeah.
least 2 strip surgeries. So all of the hair that was removed was from his most DHT resistant sweet spots. And I am pretty sure, cannot verify this, but he's probably on medication. There's a good chance. I would say.
There's a rumor that he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can see that the hair transplant itself has diminished over time, slowly, but it's become a very age-appropriate,
It still looks fantastic.
regression to some degree, and he still looks amazing. And he still has enough hair in the bank that he can go in when the time is right to reinforce that hairline again, and he's good.
Right.
I can say John Cena.
Yes.
He's had a good hair transplant with Dr. Ken Anderson out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
He openly spoke about it.
Look, brother, I have a hair transplant organization. I just tell the truth about hair transplant surgery. I think that is life-changing in a positive way for the right candidate. Sadly, most of the people who are having it really aren't the best candidates, or they've done it prematurely, or they've chosen the wrong clinics and surgeons and technicians, and they haven't educated
Well, no, I know
themselves.
you mentioned that guy Orenreich, right, who was in New York for a while, and I think it's just for so many years, of course, Spencer. I mean, these poor guys who went in there, I guess in the dark days, would just get butchered, and they'd have no recourse. So I think it just had such a bad reputation for so long.
You know, what's
Really,
interesting is him and
Joe came along,
him and Walter Unger were the grand poobahs of all of this, and they did a lot of. I mean, listen, I was in Orenreich's office as a very young man. I had my own business at that point already, my first business, and at the age of 22, I had money. I mean, enough money to get a haircut, and it was $25 a graft back then. Think about that. This guy was willing to transplant a kid, essentially, who had no visible hair loss, slight recession in the hairline, basically from a child's hairline to a man's hairline. That's all it was. And it was still pretty thick. Like,
oh, God.
You couldn't really, he didn't check for miniaturization, but you couldn't see, no one even knew about miniaturization. I mean, I started to read about it. Maybe they did. But he just put his hands through my hair, whatever it is, showed me some, like, really crappy Polaroids. He had this beautiful office in Manhattan. You know, it was like the walls were like oak or some shit with these bookshelves, and he had all these like busts of himself that were made like in Italy.
That's great.
Yeah. And he said, look, if you're my own son, I would tell you to try a few. That's when I knew.
Oh my God.
And then he said, what's that on your chin? And I think I had just started to try to grow a beard or whatever it is, and maybe it was ingrown hair. And he said, let me take care of that for you. So he has his nurse come in. They take me into this room. They remove the ingrown hair. Charges me $250.
Let me take care of that for you. That's hilarious.
Do you know how much money that was in like 1989 or whatever it was? That was a lot of money.
Yeah. I guess you forgot about the Hippocratic Oath,
Yeah.
Let me address what you're saying about you asked about celebrities and their doctors. So one thing that you need to understand, and maybe you do understand this, but for the benefit of people watching and listening live in the replay, I know celebrities that have had hair transplant. Like I've done consultations with them, and first off, what you need to understand is most celebrities don't even have a consultation before their agent actually filters through and non-disclosures and all this BS, and you don't even know who the celebrity is. You just know who the
Right.
agent is, and then by the time you talk to the celeb, the only reason they're there is because someone referred them. Very few celebrities or their agents actually do real research. And when I like there's one agent who was repping this band, really popular rock band, and I talked to this guy for probably a month, just the agent. And when I finally got to figure out or be told who the band was, it's like, wow, shit, I love these guys. Like my guitar days as a kid, I used to. So, good for them and good for him. The agent did the research. A movie director that I used to do, I'm still friends with. He did his own research, and I asked him this one question. I said, I have a theory. He goes, what's that? I said, the reason why we see all these bad celebrity hair transplants, it's because they just tell their agent, start talking to their agent or their assistants, I need to find out about hair transplants. And then they talk to, there's a circle of agents that they all know each other, and they start talking amongst themselves, and they just refer the same shitty doctors over and over. And he goes, you're absolutely right. That's exactly how it works. For like the celebrities that you know of that have had bad hair transplants, that's how they got their hair transplant. Their assistant or their agent talked to other assistants or other agents, and the same shitty doctors keep getting referred. It's the ones that you can't even tell it's a hair transplant that usually do their own research, or their agent did some real research, like Elon Musk. And there's some good hair transplants out there that actually turned out bad because of a lack of medication. Like Kevin Costner's hair transplant wasn't bad at all, but his hair keeps thinning out. Like I was watching him in Yellowstone when he takes off his cowboy hat. It's like, ooh, that's a non-finasteride situation.
I'm pretty sure. I can tell you that Jimmy Carr had a good hair transplant, and he went very conservatively. And I don't see why he would have an issue with this. I'm just going to say it. I mean, I had a nice conversation with him prior to his work.
So did I.
Yeah. And, great guy, very gracious, really appreciated the conversation. And
I forgot about that one, yeah.
He point blank me, and I told him, look, you're going to get this no matter what I say. And from what I recall, I think I suggested, at least on camera, that he consider, because I always do, a partial hair system for a while, to kind of like as a hair brace type of situation. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure that was him. I mean, that's usually what I tell these guys. I could be wrong. But he went for surgery. He took my advice. He took Joe's advice. He probably took other people's advice. That I'm sure he spoke to a few people that these physicians reference. And he's stoked. And he's got a lot of hair in the bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. I think it's no secret, guys, right? Like Nicolas Cage, didn't he go to Orange Shrike?
I think all I can tell you is this is what I'll tell you. There's a guy by the name of Casimir in New York. I don't know if he's still practicing. Yeah. He had told people that he was the one who performed Nicolas Cage's hair transplants.
Yeah, and basically broke patient confidentiality.
Yeah, so I was like, first of all, that's screwed up. Secondly, that is not a great endorsement of your skills if that's true.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, because actually my cousin, she was a nurse in the office when he came in, and I just can't remember who the doctor was. And I remember after she told me, she's like, I'm not supposed to say who comes into the office, but she did mention that the client was Nicolas Cage, and said he was like a really nice guy, but I can't remember who the doctor was. And just real quick, just one last question about transplants. I think you mentioned Lee Spencer, right? Or Joe, that you followed the UFC a little bit.
No. Who? Lee
No?
Spencer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so you don't know the name Tony Ferguson? Do you know that name, Spencer? Tony Ferguson? Anyway, it
I
doesn't
do
matter,
not.
but he was okay, so anyway, he's sort of retired now, but he was a big deal for a number of years in the UFC. He was very popular, like lightweight fighter. He's probably most famous for him and Khabib, a name you've probably heard of.
Yes.
Supposed to fight 5 times, but it never happened. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, they were supposed to fight, but one guy got injured one time, and then the other guy got injured, and so they never fought. But anyway, he's kind of retired now, but he was on an interview I watched just this past week. And somebody was asking him, where are you now, Tony? So he's sort of boxing, and he wants to come back. He wants to, like everybody, he wants to fight. I guess Trump's going to have something at the White House, so he wants to be part of that. But during the interview, he mentioned that he had to take 16 months off because he went to Bosley and got a hair transplant, and he had to take 16 months off for recovery. And he's kind of a wacky guy, so you don't know what to believe with him, but doing a little more research, this guy who has means of money went to Bosley. Sure. And I guess he said it took 16 months.
Brother, there was a local weatherman here, and I think it became national, this was years ago, probably 20 years ago or something, who was all slated to have a Bosley hair transplant. And I got a hold of his number and called him, left a voicemail, and just told him, listen, brother, this is going to be one of the worst mistakes of your life. This is why, blah, blah, blah. And years later, one of the guys at Bosley said to me, listen, that guy, A, sent the voicemail to us. And we're all just sitting around. We're just all sitting around the table thinking, Jesus Christ, what are we going to do with this Kobren guy? I'm like, look, you're going to get butchered, whatever I said, They know what I appreciate about that company? They never sued me. I mean, they knew that it wouldn't be any. And you know what they did, though? They improved.
Yeah.
They improved. That's what they decided to do.
Yeah. So when you're telling me that he had all this money, he went to Bosley, it's like, okay, it probably turned out okay.
Yeah. They've got in general they've gotten a lot. In general, they've gotten a lot better, and I would say that compared to what's happened, compared to all the butchery that's happening today, I mean, at least they're doing it legally. They're hiring PAs. I don't know what their sales tactics are anymore as far as like still treating young patients. But we're definitely not getting the type of complaints that we used to get from Bosley. I mean, they've come a long way in general. Yeah. Are they hiring, geriatric doctors and stuff? I mean, that's the nature of the game. Guys who can't handle it themselves or have had mental breakdowns. Yes, in my opinion.
I would actually go so far as to say that over the past, say, 10 years, even 15 years, while the market in general has gone really down, they've gone up.
Yeah,
with their qualities. So I would even wager and safely say that they're better than average now. Yeah, because the average itself is not great.
Too. I mean, that's not a great marketing term for them. Bosley Medical, better than average.
Bosley, way better than average.
Well, they used to have such a bad reputation, Spence. I remember listening to you, and they were kind of like the go-to, if you want a bad example of where not to go. Because remember they had those commercials, at least in New York anyway, and the guy with the white lab coat, Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but I used to play. There was a company that they acquired medical hair restoration, this guy, Matt Levitt. And I used to play the theme, and this was the radio, so you can do it back then, the theme from The Godfather, and then start talking about Matt Levitt and medical hair restoration. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to tell you, back in the day when I started, God, I can't believe the balls that I had. I'm glad that you were listening back then because I saved your ass.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. No, even back then, even when I think I noticed it about 26, 27, it was one of those things, full head of hair, but I looked in the mirror and I was like, holy shit, I could definitely see, the loss. But it was right around that time, Spence, maybe a year or two later. I can remember, it was on Ted Koppel Nightline. They had some guy from Merck on, and he was talking about, there's this hair loss drug that's coming to market and remember he was very reserved. He was, he wasn't guaranteeing some miracle cure. I don't know if you saw this, Spencer, like, or Joe even, but the guy from Merck was on Nightline. And he's like, well, yeah, we've had these trials of these drugs, and I obviously, I guess it was FDA approved by them because it was about to come on the market. And he said, yeah, there's a good chance if you are losing your hair, you'll keep it, and in a number of cases, you'll probably even grow some back. And
brother, it was a miracle.
But
These kids today have no idea what that was like. Essentially,
right.
in our lifetime,
Exactly.
It was like splitting the atom.
Yeah, when I went to the dermatologist, pretty much before I even said that that's what I wanted to do is get a prescription for that, he said, there's a new drug on the market I think you should try, and I did, and you're right, it's all timing, I mean, so it is. It really is a drug that probably doesn't get the credit it deserves, because...
Well, not only doesn't it get the credit now, it has been dragged through the mud in a way that, first of all, basically no other pharmaceutical has in this respect, unless it's already been taken off the market or killed people. And the reality is, from 1992, when it was approved for benign prostate hyperplasia, till about 2005, now it was approved for hair loss in 97, all of these long-term adverse post-finasteride syndrome terms, all that stuff, it didn't exist. They were these weird outlier stories that you may have heard, and one that came from a Merck study that they claim to have suppressed. But the truth of the matter is, all these companies, when they only have to present their best possible outcomes in studies, and or group. If someone drops out of that study, they don't have to necessarily present their long-term issues. So there were one or two patients who were complaining of persistent adverse side effects. There was no follow-up. So now the post-finasteride syndrome community is just like, yeah, Merck hid this, all this stuff. The media picks it up. The ambulance chasers come out. And I'm not saying that people aren't suffering. But as far as the real percentages of people who suffer from side effects compared to what we're seeing online today, there's a major discrepancy, brother. And, is it a mass hysteria event? A lot of people have been around this industry for a very long time, think it is. But what do I know?
Hey, one last thing, not to keep it too long, but, you were mentioning about how, sometimes the truth doesn't work and you got to get a hook to sell anything. But, I'm like, I guess the whole world now, I'm addicted to friggin' scrolling. I mean, it's insane. But on my scrolls, I guess you've seen it, but this alpha thing, your at-home hair transplant kit, have you seen that?
What?
No,
you haven't seen it? I get it on my scrolls. It's alpha something. It's an at-home.
I think what happens is the algorithm figured us out. They don't want to show us that. They're showing it to guys like you.
It's definitely out there. Right? No, but I'm telling you. I mean, really, it's called alpha something. It's alpha for short. But then it's kind of like this at-home kit, a really small device here. Then you kind of go to your hairline, you hit it on your hairline, so it looks like you've been to the doctor and he's giving you grafts or whatever. And then in a few seconds later on the video, oh, this guy's got a full thick head of hair, and I don't know how much they're charging, but yeah, it's I thought you may have heard of that.
I don't even know what you're talking. Dude, are you drunk? Are you drunk, man?
No,
I'm looking.
No, I haven't. I stopped drinking probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay, good.
But
I'm just busting your balls.
Short, alpha something else. It's like I'm telling you, man. I'm not seeing things. I mean, I don't know if these algorithms have decided they can just get one person at a time. But alpha something, and it's literally an at-home hair transplant kit.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah, we'll have to find it because listen. What's crazy about that? As drunk and as insane as you sound right now, I believe it.
Well, I'm telling you the truth, man. Believe me. It's only 7:30 here. I wouldn't start drinking until about 10 o'clock at night anyway. Man.
Okay. All right. God, I could really go for a drink.
Charlie.
I stopped drinking too, basically. I mean, I can't even remember the last
Well,
time I
that's
had
good
a
to know
drink.
because we know how honest alcoholics are about their habits.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't start drinking until 10 p.m. What are you talking? What are you talking about?
How dare you?
Hey, man.
All right, brother. Well, listen.
One
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
But Topic. Any alternative to Topic? I mean, I use Topic, and it's great. But is there anything else out there you would recommend, or do you use?
The reality is that most of these products are all sourced from China, made by the same factories, and just kind of white labeled. Topic may be slightly different, or it may have just been the original, but I could have my own brand of, and actually maybe I'll do that. Just have the American Hair Loss Association seal on it, and just go to town.
Okay.
Order from China. So it's all basically the same. There's two different types. There's a one that has silicone in it that's supposed to be made from keratin, and there's another supposed natural cotton fiber that's utilized. People who are concerned about breathing in the silica, are using that. I use Derm Match. I'm not using it right now, but and I've been sharing my bald spot online for people. They seem to enjoy that. I mean, how
I do.
Right.
masochistic is that? Is that masochistic? When other people enjoy your suffering?
I used to use.
But I use Derm Match.
I have a fiber. I can't remember the name of it, and I think it's better than Topic. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Actually, let me look for it. Be right back.
Okay.
Oh my God! He just left. Cameras on. Got his studio there. Yeah.
Well, I'm not drunk and I'm not making it up, but I would assume you could probably find it. But it's Alpha is the abbreviated name, but it's some kind of Alpha thing, and it's.
I'll look for it. I'm sure someone who's listening to the show is going to send me the link as well.
Right.
So, but I definitely, of course, I believe you, and it's as insane as it sounds. I believe this stuff is being promoted. Yeah, what is that?
Keratin.
Keratin. Yeah.
Yeah, they're based out of South Florida, I think, and I've not used it for quite a while, but yeah, hair-tin, hair, the word hair, and then ATIN. I get nothing for saying that. You asked, but I like it because
thank you.
It's not just the color that they put. I forgot what they do to, like, some of the fibers themselves are treated to have somewhat of a, I don't want to call it a gloss, but the problem with other fibers that I've used and that I've seen used on other people is it gives almost like a chalky or dull appearance to hair, when healthy hair has almost a shine to it, like a sheen of some sort. This stuff mimics that. And when I used it, it blended on that, with that aspect in mind quite well. Like, color is color, but the slight reflective nature of healthy hair was seen on this, and it worked really well. I liked it. I don't use it. But,
thank you. Okay.
But they sent it to me, and like 10 years ago, I did a video where I was comparing this to other concealers, and they paid me for it. Like they did. It was the only time I did a coupon code or something. I think I did something like that. Anyway, but I did it because
bottom,
it. It was good.
Bottom.
It was good. It was good. That was when I was first starting out, and I thought I'll give it a shot. But ever since, I kept it, and if I ever do use a concealer, I'll use this, or I'll use Derm Match, which ultimately is the best because it doesn't.
Well, Joe, you see me both ways, and you've seen me paint my head. And at least according to you, Joe, you said that it's a masterpiece that you could never tell.
Yeah.
And that's Derm Match.
Yeah, that's Derm Match. Yeah.
I assume they're both available on Amazon, I'm guessing.
Everything's available on Amazon, yeah. I don't know if Derm Match is anymore. It's interesting. I think they might be. I don't. You may have to go to their website, kind of like an old school company. They really never change their packaging. If they're using the same pictures on their website, but it's tried and true. Stuff works.
Remember, Topic you could only get through, I think, their website, but now, it's been available, let's say, at CVS for quite a while.
Yeah,
now.
Spencer Forrest.
Get it in the stores.
Spencer Forrest. The guy's name was, how can I forget his name? I don't know how I could forget his name because he bought 20,000 copies of The Bald Truth to distribute to his clientele because I had an entire section on concealers.
Right.
So he did a special sales deal through Simon & Schuster to buy 20,000 copies back in the day, and I was just like, "That's great. We'll take it."
Yeah, that was nice of him.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Mark Kress is his name. We got along very well. He was a little concerned about getting too close to me and the American Hair Loss Association because of the politics of the field, which I found fascinating at the time because he was crushing it. He didn't need the ISHRS or these other organizations, but at the time, I guess he felt a little gun shy. He was making enough. He was making plenty of money. So, what was that?
Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Oh yeah, he was the OG. This guy laid the pipe in this industry as far as these topicals, these concealers.
Like I said, I've been happy when I've used Topic again. It's one of those kind of miracle maybe is too strong a word, but great products that does what it's advertised. And I haven't really looked into it, but that there are other products that available. It's good to know also. Yeah.
Dude, 100%. Listen, I know. Even forget about women wearing masks of makeup. Even under eye concealer that they have the opportunity to wear that we don't. Gives them a little extra life. It makes them feel better when they look at themselves. And in general, it makes them appear better to the general public. Why can't we paint our heads?
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Well, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing well. And good luck. Let us know how you do now that you're getting back on the drug.
Definitely will do. Joe and Spence, you guys are both the man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
Phone number is 888-659-3727. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, he owned this space, Mark Kress.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I could start a product. What'd you say? He's laying the pipe.
Laying the pipe.
Yeah. I can contact one of these distributors in China. They can actually drop ship it for me. I can give them the IP that I need. Even partner with them. Put some shit up on Instagram. We will own this space. And you know what? Maybe I'll do that. I never wanted to sell anything, to be honest with you. Initially, and I've told this story, I had a guy that wanted to do the Bald Truth formula because I wrote about it for years. Actually, before the Bald Truth was published. It's a long story, but I had this newsletter, believe it or not, online, and that's how I was able to bring this interest to a publisher and to an agent to say, listen, people are interested in this. I want to sell this book. So this company contacted me and it's like, look, we can help you manufacture these natural products, these supplements, and, call it the Bald Truth formula, label it, whatever it is. So as I'm writing my book, I'm like, or just about to have the book published, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I'll put it in the book just in case I decide to go this route. So I discussed this in the book with a phone number. Phones rang off the hook. And then I decided, like an idiot, again, I don't really want to sell anything to anybody. I don't need to. Within months, there were two companies that started. One had an infomercial selling combination of saw palmetto, pygium, africanium, stinging nettle, the exact formulation that I put in the book. And then people were just making millions of dollars off this stuff. Now, a lot of it was snake oil. Some of it was standardized extract. I think about that. Now, obviously now the American Hair Loss Association granted advanced trichology, trusted brand status. This is 30 years after I came up with these similar formulas. And that's great. It's a good quality product. But when I think about companies like Nutrafol and all of that, I'm like, God, this guy, he was acquired by, starts from the L. He probably made $200 million. Why did I care that people would think that I was selling them something? What was wrong with me?
I don't know.
I could tell you why. Because I suffered so much in this industry. Everyone wanted to rip me off. I didn't want to be involved in anything. I didn't want someone to write my company and say, this didn't work for me, or this somehow harmed me, or I didn't like the idea. And honestly, I don't regret it. I'm not talking about it from a point of regret. I'm just saying this is the scenario. This is what transpired.
You want to know what my idea is? If I ever sell something? Like my tagline will be, I don't know if it's going to work for you.
But you might as well try it, so.
But why not try it?
Yeah.
And then follow up with, and I'm not going to refund your money if it doesn't.
Yeah. But, so maybe I will do a concealer. Maybe I'll there's companies I want to work with. You know what? I'll put it out there. Anyone who's listening, if you have an idea, if you have something unique for a cosmetic concealer, because I use them, we'll figure out a way to work with the American Hair Loss Association. And me personally, fuck it. What do I care at this point?
But that's the thing. It's like if you use it, if you think it's a good product, then there's nothing wrong with it. Like that's why I had no problem working with these guys.
Well, I've been using concealers for probably 20 years now. At least. Yeah. I think Mark Kress sent me the first batch.
Like, I don't use the product, but sometimes I will because I like it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best endorsement I could give. Like, if I am to use a concealer product, it would be this because I do like it.
I don't use the product because I'm concerned about possible lung cancer. Not that product. But no. I think fibers are great. They actually could look better. They could look better on me if I didn't know how to use Derm Match. Fibers would look better. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because I see people using Derm Match. They wet it. They read the instructions like I'm supposed to wet this, and it looks like they have shellac on the top of their head. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hello.
Gentlemen, it's Dante.
Dante,
what's happening?
What's up, bro?
How are you guys tonight?
I'm good.
What's happening, Dante?
So I had to call in. And Joe, the other night, I don't know, I subscribe, but I never get the alerts. Like even tonight, obviously I know the show's coming on at 6 or so, but I never get the alerts. And I didn't know you had the, Dr. Daniel on the other night. I didn't know you had your own, I know you were doing the, your podcast, so I missed him. I would have loved to call in. I'd like to talk to him,
Yeah, there's something wrong with Joe's situation with his channel because that's happened before.
Well, my question to you, Dante, is I know you're subscribed, but did you click the bell for all notifications? Because if you didn't do that, that's why you're not getting notified.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it because I just, I have to stay abreast of everything.
Like, are you getting notifications of this show when it comes on, or you just know when it comes on and you tune in?
Well, I know when it comes on. Yeah, I didn't get one tonight. A couple weeks ago I did, and last two weeks I don't think I did. But obviously I know
it also might have something to do with the fact that I don't even set up the live stream until like in the system until maybe 45 minutes before we go on, or half an hour, because I'm doing other things during the day and I'm rushing to get it done. That might be it. The thing with Dr. Daniel a few days ago, that was also set up last minute. I didn't even promote that one because I was using new software and new hardware, and I wasn't sure if it was actually going to work. So I didn't want to promote it everywhere and then have it fall on its face. So it was kind of like a dry run. Like I didn't promote it anywhere. So that's also why you didn't get that notification. Next time it will be promoted, and hopefully I'll do it early enough to where you get the notification. But I think the timing is probably why, now that I think about it.
All right, that's good. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So
but still, make sure you ring the bell on your subscription button.
I will.
Yeah.
I will ring the bell.
Ring the damn bell.
Talking about
ring the damn bell. So what's going on, Dante?
they're talking about the fibers, right? So I was using Topic for a couple years, and then I it's like over 8 weeks now. Tuesday was 8 weeks. I was down
That's
with
right.
Dr. Daniel did my transplant, right, beard to head, and I was losing ground. That's why I went down there. But with the fibers, I can't wash my hair every day. I really can't even wash my hair every other day and I can't even use conditioner because my hair just has no body. If I wash it more than maybe twice a week, it just lays flat. So I don't wash it. So I'm using the fibers, Topic, and I'm not even washing it out, which I'm sure is not a good idea. I don't know if it contributes to hair loss, but so I haven't,
as long as you haven't noticed any type of like dark pustules, or I've seen guys who've kept the stuff on. They don't wash their hair. I'm not saying it happens to everybody, but somehow it's gotten into their pores. I don't know how that's possible, but I guess it's possible. Or they've developed they had some sort of maybe an open wound or some sort of cyst, and then they have like this black pus. Now, I've known people, like you, they wear 3-4 days in a row, they didn't wash their hair. And I've been guilty of that myself. Like say I want to take a few days off. I mean, it hasn't been for a while, but when I was out in Calabasas or I wanted to hang out by the pool or whatever it is and day drink, maybe I wouldn't wash my hair for 3 days. And I had that stuff in my head. I never had a problem with it.
Yeah. I've never had a problem either. I just don't know I don't know if it's clogging pores, even if that's true that you're going to lose ground. I don't know. So I just thought
you would know. You would know if it was because you would see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had no problems. Yeah, I've had no anything, no dandruff, no flakes, no, anything going, no pimples, nothing going wrong. So the other thing is, I'm like you guys. All I think about is hair, and I just, and now on my phone,
hair and what else? Are you like us? Hair and what else?
Yeah, whatever, what you talk about sometimes, right?
Does it start with a P?
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are you now, Dante?
69.
69, and that's a good number, and you're still on finasteride.
No, I never took it. I never knew about it.
You never took it. That's right.
And then I never started. And the doctors, I don't know if it makes sense now. Minoxidil, finasteride, I have no idea. But I know, Joe, in the interview with Dr. Daniel, he told you asked him about, if it enhances the hair transplant. And I had asked him that when I was down, and like he pretty much gave me the same answer he gave you. If you have a good hair transplant, it's probably not going to do much, but I don't know if I should start now because I don't have the greatest prostate to begin with at my age now. So I don't know if it's going to make it worse. I don't know if it's going to make it better. So I've never used anything. No minoxidil.
Now, your urologist didn't suggest, if you have prostate issues, your urologist didn't suggest a 5-off reductase inhibitor?
No, I mean, I don't have a large prostate, but I do have like my count fluctuates. So it goes up, it comes down.
I mean, your PSA.
It's all over the place. I had a PSA, right? Yeah, I had a prostate MRI last December. I have to have another one like in February coming up. So I don't know if I want to take any chances, but I could ask the urologist about it,
Well, I mean, if you're doing okay, if it ain't broke, there's no reason to be on medication if it ain't broke. I'm not a believer, or I don't agree with the physician's assessment that, it's not going to help, because I do know I've known guys who have been significantly bald. I mean, it actually happened to my dad, let him rest in peace, that he eventually lost it all from other medications and it became very thin, all the donor and everything. But for a while, when he was like he probably started Proscar for his prostate probably around when it first came out, 92. And the sides of his head and even the hairline was like, what's going on here? The guy was growing hair back.
Right.
And he was already old. He was probably, he was older than you.
All right. I'm going to check into it then. I'll check into it, see what they say.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, on my phone now, because, I don't know if we're being spied on to hear us talk. Every day I'm getting these pop-ups on my phone. There's always something new that grows hair. It's unbelievable, the things that they're trying to push.
doctors. I don't know if they're real doctors, fake doctors. I don't know what's going on, but all kinds of things. Olive juice or some ridiculous thing I saw the other day. All kinds of shampoos that we know that don't work. It's crazy.
First of all, it's just the market. It's the way the market's always been, but it's scale, and now it's in your face all the time. You're not looking for hair loss ads, or you're not seeing hair loss ads in the back of on the sports pages, or in bodybuilding magazines, or in men's magazines. It's being fed to you, 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's always been a scam industry. There's always been shampoos and pills and this and that. This is what the industry has been built on. So every kid, they'll I'll post something on TikTok, and then I'll get a whole bunch of requests or comments about, does this work? Does that work? There's all these guys, these young kids who are selling this hair loss product on TikTok. These guys actually contacted me they wanted me to rep their product too. But they get any kid, basically, who has any type of following. And all these kids are just going on TikTok Shop or whatever it is, a live thing, and they're selling products. Like, okay, we have 2 more minutes before the sale is over. And, I mean, their lives are filled with like 400 or 500 people. And these kids and I'm talking about teenagers, early 20s, they're pimping snake oil on TikTok. And I have to say, I can't even be mad at them. I can't even get angry with them. They see an opportunity. They're taking it. They have no real clue how this is affecting people's lives. And they probably figure, well, you know what? It's not harming anybody, so I'll make some money on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But what it is doing is wasting people's time, precious time, where every time, as Alan Bauman's coined, time equals follicles in this game.
Nice.
And the more time that you waste on bullshit products and services, the less of a real chance you have of saving your hair.
Yep.
And then you're Dante, who's 69, calling the bald show.
Yeah, I've been calling for a long time. I don't know.
So you're the best.
I'm not over it.
You're the best. Why should you get over it? I understand. I'm not over it. I'm not even close to being over it. I still get depressed sometimes when I think things are getting worse, or if I can't style my hair the way I want to style. It's not even. I wouldn't say it's depression when that happens. It's more like, all right, I can't look my best today. What am I going to do? That's what I have to deal with. But it still sucks when I know that maybe if my haircut was slightly better, if my barber didn't chop off that extra piece of hair that keeps me from being bald, that I'd be able to go out into the world and feel that much better about myself. It still bugs me.
Makes a big difference when I wake up in the morning. If my hair's standing up, I know I feel good. Whether it's a good day or not, I feel good.
Yeah, 100%. And other things, too. If they're standing up, I feel good.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, Dante, you sound good. I'm sure that when you start to see the graphs growing in, let us know. But I'm sure you're going to have a good outcome. I'm pretty sure. No guarantees, but I'm pretty sure.
I hope so. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, and like I mentioned last time, so I'm 8 weeks now, a little over 8 weeks, and the hair. So from the crown down and back, a lot of the hair has never fallen out. I mean, it's still like peach fuzz, but it's still there. So,
nice.
Hopefully for a good result.
Well, I think you're going to get a good result, and it's kind of just like it happens to some guys, but the fact that you haven't gone through a complete telogen from, or your transplanted hairs didn't all shed, it's a little plus, it gives you a little preview of what's to come.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Yeah. It's good talking to you.
All right, guys.
Appreciate the call. Good luck.
All right, Francis. Joe, have a good night, and I'll be back in touch.
And happy Thanksgiving.
All right. You too. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
It's an American holiday. I like to wish people a happy Thanksgiving.
It's funny.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from? Joe's about to give a thought, so hold on for a second.
Okay. No. Okay. Well, I was just going to say, like, even I get the hair bugs sometimes still, because, like I said earlier, at the top of the show, I was at the clinic with a friend of mine getting surgery from Dr. Wong. Yeah, hold on, caller. And I started talking to Dr. Wong about doing another one.
Yeah.
And it's addictive, man. It's addictive if you've been through it and you had success. But even then, it's like, sometimes I'll look at my crown and it's like it could be thicker, or maybe I could get just add something in the upper reaches of my temple a little bit.
It's like tattoos.
Yes, like ink. Anyway, caller, what's going on? How you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, you. Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was, oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I'm actually calling from Illinois. I just had a few questions as far as the effectiveness of finasteride. I've been on this now from a dermatologist for looking at close to about 10 months, plus oral minoxidil, 5 milligrams, and just still shedding. I can stand over the sink right now, obviously on live video if that was a thing, and I can comb out about 100 hairs in 1 minute. And
as a matter of
yes,
fact, we can get you on live video right now. I'm just kidding. I could, but that'd be a pain in the ass.
But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why, I'm 41 years old, and after 10 months of doing this, I'm so confused as of why there's absolutely, and I also do laser cap. I forgot to mention that. So
where are you getting the finasteride from?
From a doctor. It is ProScar, then I'll pill cut it.
Okay.
And then I do 5 milligrams of oral minoxidil from the same dermatologist, and then laser cap.
It's interesting that he gave you brand name ProScar, which I think is great.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah, now, for sure.
Have you had any periods where there was a slight cessation of hair loss, where things slowed down a little bit?
Actually, no. But see, my story, and this is where derms, the last derm I went to was, I don't want to say quack. I don't want to be rude, but
you could be rude.
Okay, well, if that's the case, nice person and all, but comes in, doesn't have that, how do you say that, with the little scope? What's that called to actually look up close?
Densitometer.
Okay.
Or dermatoscope.
Kind of by eye. And that's what it's called. And this was by, just by eye, didn't have that, with whatever you said, didn't have that on hand, so just kind of looked by eye. And, looks like finasteride's not working. We'll try you on duasteride. And when he said wasteride, I was like, oh, no. And I was like, so I wanted to laugh in my head, but I was also better because I was depressed that nothing's working. But I wanted to make sure this idiot mispronounced that name again. So I was like, what is that called again? The other option?
That's great.
It's called duasteride. And I'm like, oh, no, I just wasted my time coming here. It was just...
But let me ask you, was he Asian by chance?
No. This is a full blown, just a Caucasian, and he jumped up on the.
That may have been considered a racist joke, but go ahead.
Now that's a racist joke. Yeah. It was funny. Caller and everyone listening and watching, I just want to clarify that what you said about him not having a dermatoscope or densitometer, they're actually not necessary. Like if you know what you're doing and you have a good eye, and I don't mean able to focus, but you can recognize what's going on.
Okay.
If someone knows the patient and they're familiar with their hair loss, and then after some amount of time the patient comes back, they can still look and see if there's more volume and density in a specific area to tell if it's being affected or not. A dermatoscope, even with a dermatoscope, if you have magnification, you're looking at it. It doesn't mean you're seeing anything different that you're not seeing with the naked eye. Okay. I don't understand why people, and I'm not directing this at you, but I don't see. Well, I do see why people think it's important, because it's a gadget, it's a tool. But I mean, for years, doctors have been able to look at donor areas and be able to determine if it's healthier now than it was before medication was started. I can do that. So
okay.
I don't want people to think that just because a doctor doesn't have a specific tool in their hand to look at your hair, that they're unqualified to understand.
What about the duasteride aspect of the conversation?
Well, that part's hilarious.
Yeah.
That part's hilarious. So that part, that's a red flag for sure. But And that's actually funny. I'm glad you
especially when the dermatologist is a 2-hour drive, and I'm over here thinking, thinking in my head, finally,
sounds like
an
an
actual
Elmer Fudd,
dermatologist board
certified.
certified. I was like, I'm going to get up in there. This is a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
I'm
He's talking
excited.
about a duasteride and Mixadil.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, I got up in there, signed in, sat down, waited, and just looked for just a few minutes. And he's like, "How's your DHT looking?" He pulled on his computer because I had a test, and he's like, "It's low." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "So why am I losing hair then still if it's low?" I don't know.
Have you ever been checked for other forms of alopecia?
The dermatologist before him actually did a scalp biopsy. I don't know if those can be performed wrong. He punched it, he numbed it, punched it, sent it out.
Well, the thing about scalp biopsies is there's two issues. One is the biopsy has to be taken from a specific spot where they see a hair loss or miniaturization. Two, it has to then be read by what are they called? The people that read biopsies. Help me, Joe. Anyway, they have to be interpreted and read by another physician, right? And then those results are then sent to your physician. Sometimes they're incorrectly or misinterpreted. Some people do end up with scarring alopecias they don't realize, or the biopsy was taken from the wrong place. I'm not saying that's your case. I also want to make it clear that I've known guys who have not responded well to this either medication for a while, and then they began to respond. In some cases, it's because they started both medications at once. Now, was that your case? Did you start both medications at once?
I pretty much, yeah. It's kind of like what you just said as far as somebody, and this is where I get so confused because you get on some of these sites and some people swear by, and I kid you not, some people swear by dutasteride. Some people say it actually worsened their hair. Same with finasteride. Oh, it worsened. So I mean, I don't know. I'm below baseline.
How much below baseline do you think you are since you started?
I mean, I wouldn't know as far as the hairline itself has actually moved back a little bit. And one big thing, while I have people on the phone, aka you guys, that actually know what you're talking about, how come a lot of these hairs, not all of them, but a lot of them that I shed, because this hair stuff's haunted me for a while, I get up close on it, it's tapering in toward the root. I never hear anybody talk about this ever, not on any. It miniaturizes toward the root. I thought hair was supposed to stay the same, front to root, shed, and then grow back thinner, not grow thinner in the actual cycle still. If you guys can elaborate on that.
I don't know if I could elaborate on that because I've seen people who had relatively normal heads of hair who've gone through telogen effluviums, and they tell me that they look at their hair and it seems more tapered towards the root, but they weren't losing their hair from androgenetic alopecia. They were losing it from like a shock loss type of a situation or a telogen effluvium. So I don't know, Joe, do you have an answer to that?
No. I'm thinking
that's not good. Just saying no. I mean, you're not texting this guy.
No.
Help a brother out here.
I don't know. What's that?
This isn't all the hairs. This is just some of the hairs. I mean, like I would say 25-30% of the ones that shed out just taper in toward the root. Like it's invisibly, though. You don't have to get up all close. You can see it from a foot away. It's been happening. I don't know if that's
how long are the hairs?
A bad reaction to
that you're saying?
Some of them kind of vary. I mean, the ones that taper in are usually a little bigger than the ones that are miniaturized. I mean, I guess that's another question for you gentlemen: is 10 months on 5 milligrams?
There's no doubt.
Minoxidil?
10 months is a long time. The fact you're on 5 milligrams of oral minoxidil, I mean, most people will start to see some results. But it is a weird thing. It's like a phenomenon that, for some reason, no one explains to patients. When patients are started on both these drugs at the same time, there are times where all of a sudden after a year, they're seeing positive results. They're going through sheds, their hair is cycling in ways that really shouldn't be happening, but it could be because of both the process of the shed from or DHT issues with being on finasteride, and then the minoxidil pushing your hair into a faster anagen phase. It could be. I mean, did you start the exact same week, or did you take a few weeks before you started the second drug?
I think one of them was, I think, just about a month apart. They're both from the same dermatologist, so I'd say they're relatively around the same time. And I don't know if maybe this might sound goofy to both of you. I don't know, maybe me using the laser cap for 30 minutes every single day instead of 3 times a week. I don't know if that would be doing all this to my hair. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, what do you have to lose by not using the laser cap?
Well, that's the thing is this whole entire year, that's what I'm saying. I've been using the laser cap every day, but I just don't know if I was overusing it is what I was saying. Like, so since I started
well, here's how I feel about it. Did the doctor show you the laser cap, or did he tell you to get a laser cap?
He didn't mention it. I just seen it, and this isn't my first laser cap. I've been going through this for quite a while, but I just this time around picked back up because I could kind of see the hair. I'm 41 now, right around 39-ish. I've seen it start to shed a little more and start to thin up again. I was like, all right, I'll give finasteride and all this a fair chance this time.
Now, did you try it before? This is the first time hearing of this. Did you try it previously when you were younger?
No dermatologist ever believes me when I say the story. They look, they don't. It's so weird. But yeah, so hair loss does run in my family. It runs on my mom's side, aka the X chromosome. So it does run on my mom's side. My brother's got it. He's younger. So when I was 21, I'm 41 now. So back in 2005, I noticed what I thought, and I don't even think it was. I was just young and always kind of been into, obviously, my looks and whatever. So I looked and I was like, am I thinning on the temples? So I went to a dermatologist. He's like, I don't think you are at all. He's like, but I'll give you this. This is called Propecia. I don't know. Back then he was giving me the actual brand name of it. So I'm like, okay. So I started taking it, and I'll never forget. This is so weird. And within 3 weeks of taking this, my hair just started shedding out. I'm talking crazy amounts. I started actually, no one will believe it, actually started growing in body hair for me. And I know I wasn't just seeing things. I wasn't being imaginative. My sex drive went through the roof. I did pretty much the exact opposite of what finasteride's supposed to do. And the upper arm hair that was growing in was terminal. It's not like little vellus. It was started pulling terminal hairs that I never had. To this day, no dermatologist can ever explain. I guess it's a term called reflex hyperandrogenicity, where the body tries to compensate for the lower DHT by pushing out.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, and it's not extremely common, but this is something that was really talked about a lot back in the day on alt.baldspot and by some physicians around there. Mm-hmm. And there is a subset of guys who will have this effect where all of a sudden their libido's through the roof, they're hard all the time. They see that they're noticing more body hair growth. They may go through a faster or a more severe initial shed than a lot of guys. But a lot of these people recoup from it.
The thing about the increased sex drive, though, that's actually more common than people talk about, and it's not a symptom of the reverse hypersensitivity. It's a result of having less testosterone converted into DHT, so you have more free flowing testosterone that's available. There's an androgenic effect that you get in the gym. Like people are saying that they're lifting more because they're on Propecia. So
I've actually,
it's logical because you have a particular amount of testosterone in your body, depending on the time of day and what your routine is. But if less of that's being taken away, then there you go. Like that's your boost, because without the medication, without the inhibitor, which is Propecia, then some of that testosterone is being taken away. As an analogy, and convert it into DHT, which your body doesn't use for those functions. So it makes perfect sense.
Okay,
I hear
well,
it. I used to hear all the time when I was dealing with patients all the time that were just starting out.
I heard it all the time too. And what people don't also recognize is there's this whole myth, in my view, online about the tremendous importance of DHT as it pertains to libido and sex drive. The reality is it's testosterone and dopamine that, in general, that really affect your sex drive and your libido. And so your ability to have sex and your wanting to have sex. When your testosterone is raised, free-form testosterone or free-flowing testosterone is raised by whatever, 10, 15%, for a lot of guys, you have more dopamine spikes. So you're kind of like waiting for your next, exciting thing to happen, which in this case could be sex. And your testosterone just essentially is higher. So I think that I had an increase. It's hard to tell. I was so young, but I definitely didn't have a decrease. And I was raring to go constantly when I started to get on this drug.
Okay. And see, now you two are the very first, and I kid you not, I've been, 4 or 5 derms, few other people, everybody. Reflex hypergenesis is not real. It's bullshit. You two, and that's why I actually appreciate your guys' time, because you are both acknowledging that it is real. And you two are the first two to ever say it's real.
Well, let me tell you this. This is my experience with physicians. Like anybody else in life, they don't know what they don't know. And if they are essentially just provided with a certain degree of information on any subject, especially if they're not a true hair loss specialist, they're only going to know so much. If they haven't heard about it, if they haven't read about it, if they haven't seen it at a conference, they're not taught this stuff. There's a lot of really, and I'm not saying physicians are dumb, because you have to have some level of intelligence in order to, get into medical school, do well in high school. But these are kids in general who were focused when they were young. Maybe they didn't have ADHD. They had the ability to focus and get good grades, get themselves into medical school, get through medical school, become a doctor, do a residency, all that stuff, take orders. But they don't necessarily have the breadth of knowledge that you would think they have because they became physicians, and they aren't necessarily as curious as you think a physician should be. So they're very dogmatic about how they treat patients and respond to patients' questions.
So then I guess my question, I don't know which one you two said it happens in a rare case to a subset of people. So that being the case, now this happened when I was 21. I stayed on it for 3 months. Back in 2005, 2006, when this was all occurring, I didn't have you guys. You definitely couldn't call in on a cell phone and talk to 2 experts. The dermatologists back then were still as dumb as they are now. They didn't know anything. You couldn't really get on the internet. Back when.
And what year?
This happened when I was 20. I'm 41 now. This all started happening when I was 21.
Right. So what year is that?
My thing is 2000, toward the end of 2005 is when all this reflex stuff started happening.
Yeah. So I was on the radio then, so there was a place to call, but you didn't know about me.
Yeah, back in my day, there was that. What was those 2? They were always on TV. Well, there was 3 of them. There was 3 main people. There was a Scout Med clown, some guy named Mark Levitt or Dr. Levitt or something.
Dr. Levitt from good old Dr. Levitt from medical hair restoration.
Yeah. There you go, medical hair restoration. Yep, and then the Bosley guy, and that's so funny. I think the medical restoration guy left and actually started working for Bosley, if I remember right.
I think actually that the company was acquired by Adirond's. So he made a shitload of money, and now he's listed as a physician at Bosley.
So back in 2005, and another thing is when you said the substrate of people. So I also started gaining body hair. So my question is, and I stayed on it for 3 months. So when I'm talking hair shedding, I'm not kidding either one of you. 6, 7, 800 hairs would shed. And yes, back then I counted them because I was like, what in the hell is going on?
It's heavy, brother.
So some people so I was on it for 3 months, before I just seen my hair and the thing is the hair it never got better. I don't know, as goofy as this sounds, I'm still wondering to this day if I would have never touched that little finasteride pill, but I still have a full head of hair now. I think for some reason they kicked something off and it just never stopped. I mean, I don't know. And then, so now here I am 20 years later, and I told myself, you know what, you were 21 back then when you took finasteride. You only took it 3 months. You didn't know the info that you know now. Maybe you were still growing into a man. Maybe the body hair you
here's
still
the
weren't
thing.
fully developed.
Here's the thing. I'm certainly one person that could never say this isn't a possibility. Same with post-finasteride syndrome. I would say that your situation is relatively, and I don't even want to use the term rare, but it happens to a much smaller population than, even though it's out there, much smaller population of users than the people who it's happening to think it might be happening to. But I think it's real. And it's very possible that you're just not a tremendous responder for that reason. But that doesn't explain why you're not at least growing hair on oral minoxidil. Does that explain it, Joe? I mean, do you see the logic behind that?
It's hard to say. Like I've been thinking about this and thinking about cases I've seen in the past, and I have seen cases where everything that should work is having the opposite effect. Where
exactly
there's an effluvium that's long lasting, and the solution that was presented is okay. Stop taking everything, and like with ProScar, try to switch, try variations, switch to a topical finasteride from a trusted source, like a reliable source where people are talking about getting results. It's tough. Like this is one of those cases where it's like all we can do is experiment with different variations. Not so much different dosages, but different formats of what you're already doing, like oral to topical finasteride. Try that. I'm very hesitant to say quit everything cold turkey. I'm very hesitant to say taper down on one versus the other. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I gotta. Your case is interesting enough to where I think I'll inquire with some of the doctors I work with and see what they say. So do me a favor. Do you follow me on Instagram?
I do not, because I don't really get on.
That was slippery, brother.
I definitely will, because I mean this has been the pretty much the thing is, like I said, I was 21 back then. I seen a massive amount of like hair loss and then growing. I'll never forget it, sitting in the bathtub and looking at my arms, and I'm like, why am I growing upper arm hair? It was like, and there's no coincidence. Oh, it was just that time. No, it wasn't. It was right when I took finasteride, and then the sex drive was so crazy that I was literally having to take care of myself like 8, 9, 10 times a day, and I'm not kidding. Now here I am, 41.
That's not normal.
I'm not having
wait, I'm waiting for you to get to the abnormal part. What?
So, but when hair's setting out on top of that, that's not good. I'd rather have normal libido with a full head of hair, because I didn't have any hair loss when I took it. I thought I did. Like the thing is, I thought I did.
So let's do this. So do me a favor, okay? I want you to write out your situation and send it to me in a DM, and I'll copy paste that into an email and forward that to multiple doctors I work with that I know are very well versed in the medical side of things as far as this goes, and I'll let you know what they get back to me with.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I guess just a couple more questions. Appreciate your guys' time. Would there be a reason? So the dermatologist said start taking dutasteride. So my question is, if finasteride, let's just say we come to find out that it did give me this reflex, wouldn't dutasteride just exacerbate that by 20? I mean,
it's actually an interesting question and a good subject, because I don't even know the reason for this, I'm not a scientist
they're
or a
trying to say
doctor,
that-
but there are people who have had your reaction on finasteride who then switch over to dutasteride and start to see positive results. Is it
Right.
because the type 2, 5-alpha reductase, I'm sorry, type 1 is being suppressed as well? Maybe. I can't answer that. It's a weird phenomenon. Luck of the draw. It's all anecdotal, too.
And exactly. And see, the second thing is, so that was when I was 21. I took it. I can't remember. It was so far back 3 months, maybe 4. Quit, and then throughout the years, I'd mess around with some minoxidil cream or some spironolactone cream, and just but the hair never got better. It never grew back after finasteride. It's since 2005. It's only went downhill. I still have good enough head of hair where you can't tell so much, but it's nothing. I still think finasteride kicks something off. That being said,
I just want to tell you that I believe that it can, and that's why I always tell these kids and these younger people, I'm like, listen, if you haven't been diagnosed with androgenetic alopecia, do not take these drugs prophylactically. I'm not saying that you did, because you were prescribed the drug. You went to an actual doctor, But to take any of these prophylactically is always a bad idea, because you do not know how you're going to respond. There's this guy that I'm thinking of who's been kind of like, for a while, it's been kind of like, let's just say, all over people's social media, like saying, well, this drug ruined my life, this drug did that. And his whole story is he wasn't losing his hair when he started to take it. And all I said to this guy was, you were taking a medication that you didn't need, and this is, it's an unfortunate situation. Let's try to get you to where you feel better about things, and, maybe we could help solve this issue. And
and like,
wrong thing to say, to help someone with the truth. But the reality is these are real medications that they affect your hormones, they affect your body in ways that not everyone understands yet. We think we do.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this, before you say anything else, let me ask you this. Did you start taking any other medications or supplements or anything around the same time you started this? Antidepressants, creatine, anything?
Are you meaning this time around taking finasteride, or back in 05?
Either.
Back in 05, no. This time around, yeah, but I've been taking these for couple of years. Vitamin K2, D3, magnesium. I just try to stay healthy. Copper peptides, vitamin B12, but not any other medications. But see, here's another question. So this time around, here we go, 20 years later. Well, I've been out for about a year. So age 40, I'm 41 now, age 40. All right, let's give finasteride another try. Maybe I was just a young kid growing, even though I knew I was just telling myself bullshit. This time, though, no crazy high sex drive. It's not taking my sex drive out of control. I'm still shedding hair. It's not helping. It ain't doing diddly squat for hair. But I'm not getting the same reflex hyperandro stuff as back I did in 2005, which I don't understand why I would have back then. But here we go 20 years later, 19 years later, because I was kind of scared. At first, I took the finasteride just 3 times a week. I'm like, I'm so scared of this reflex happening again. I don't want to walk around with the heart on all damn day, but it didn't happen this time. Nothing. If anything, my sex drive would be a little below average, but still not helping the hair. So if it was sex drive below average, but hey, I'm shedding 20 hairs in the sink instead of 100 hairs, I'd still call that a win. But that's just not what's happening.
Well, I mean, I wish we had more definitive responses for you, but I mean, it's real what's happening, and can it be mitigated in some way or reversed? I mean, it's possible that. I mean, again, I would hate to tell you to get off finasteride and just see how you do on oral minoxidil, because you're already taking oral minoxidil, and it doesn't seem to be right now doing much for you.
And like I said, in some days, because I can tolerate it, some days, not often, but maybe once out of the week, I'll jump the 5 milligrams up to 7. I don't want to play with it too much because cardiovascular, but I mean, I just don't know. Like, someone came up with a theory to down-regulate your androgen receptors, to pretty much down-regulate them blast a bunch of DHT to overcompensate your receptors and then bring them back down to normal. I don't know how stupid that sounds, but I've heard dumber. I don't know. I mean, pretty much.
Where'd you hear that? Was that on Reddit or one of these, or some influencer?
Yeah. It was on Reddit, and like that would be weird to come to find out to end this reflex. Last DHT, you think it'd be the exact opposite? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to risk that because with my luck, that won't work and it'll bite me in the ass. So I don't know. Like I said, at this point, I mean, they're like, oh, try cyproterone. That'll reset your hormones. Try becolutamide. That'll do it. I got to figure out.
First of all, it's time to get off the forums and Reddit and do your best.
Okay.
Do your best to, you could look. ChatGPT doesn't know everything. Obviously, makes a lot of mistakes. But do your best to try to maybe work through it with AI as well, just to get some more reasonable responses potentially. Tell them to act as an endocrinologist and hair loss expert, and feeding your questions. Give a reasonable prompt. You can even prompt it to ask you for the best prompt, and then use that prompt and kind of work through it with AI. And it's hit or miss, man. It's going to be trial and error from this point.
And that's what I think too. One thing I definitely appreciate both you gentlemen's time. And speaking of endocrinologist, that's another thing. Here comes the derm. Oh, let's get your blood test. Go to the dermatologist or go to the endocrinologist. I got that done about 3 times over the past year and a half or so. The last one, but then I asked the endocrinologist, so what's going on then? I don't know. Go to the dermatologist. I go to the dermatologist. I don't know. Go to the endocrinologist. Well, which one of you idiots? Well, which one?
Neither of them. You don't know shit. You have to keep searching for another endo. You have to keep trying to figure this out. You may have to take another break from the medication and see if you recoup it all, and that would be interesting.
So, and I was thinking that too. So, when I took it back in 2005 and all that shedding happened, I probably lost, and I'm not kidding you not, probably 30% of the density that I just never got back. I probably lost about half of an inch of the hairline and just shredded the density. But then from there all the way to about 38, 39, it still shed, but it wasn't shedding out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds like back in 2005 when I got off the drug. But it never stopped shedding. It never, here comes some new hair. I thought you get off the drug, maybe the hairs will sprout back up over time, but they never did. But like I said, back about a year ago, I noticed it start picking up again. Like
I know this is something that's just coming out of the blue, but I mean, you said that you were always into your appearance and all that stuff, and did you ever try to buzz cut your hair?
That's kind of what I used to have, kind of growing up, like a fade. And I wouldn't say a buzz cut, but pretty short, probably about a 7 on top. And like I said, my hair used to be so thick, I'd have to go to the barber and had them purposely thin it out. I mean, it was right when I touched that.
What would happen if you shaved your head? How do you think you would look?
I wouldn't look that. In my opinion, I don't believe I have the head shape for it. I mean, I'd be willing to send you guys some pictures. I mean, not on here, but maybe on private. And like I said,
you should check out Harry from Bald Cafe on Instagram. It's at Bald Cafe. He's a head shaver. And
I've seen that guy. See, well, the thing with me is, I'm not, I definitely appreciate any advice that you gentlemen give me. I've seen this stuff. I ain't that bald yet. So I'm not. My hair's not. Whoa, it's just.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you were in a position where you could shave your head or cut it very short and say, "Wait a second, I look pretty good," you may not have to have all the stress and worrying about and taking this medication and have all the stress and the anxiety of shedding and seeing whether it works, or even during this process while you're testing the medications, if you cut your hair super short, you're not even going to see the shedding.
True. And then, like I said, the dermatologist also said, he said one option, take the finasteride every day, and then just one day a week take dutasteride. Again, I don't know if that sounds dumb. As dumb as he was, not getting the name right, I don't know if that sounds stupid to you gentlemen, or that's normal.
Well, here's what's interesting is that even intermittently, dutasteride builds up in your body relatively quickly, but also it has a half-life of about 5 weeks. It can actually stay in your body for several months, even up to 6 months.
Okay.
So there are people who do take this drug, and they do it with finasteride. They'll take 1 dose of dutasteride, say once a week. And the reality is it's kind of overkill, but it's a way to, I think, for physicians to help titrate these patients off of finasteride. Or they figure, well, they're already, blasting their DHT. They've done well on finasteride as far as side effects. They're not doing any worse on dutasteride, but they're seeing results, and they just keep them on this protocol for a long time. But really, it's overkill. Now, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad idea as far as if you're going to titrate and if you're thinking about moving in the dutasteride direction, it gives people peace of mind, and you're not really shocking the system by getting off a drug while you are transitioning to dutasteride. But for long-term treatment, again, this is not medical advice. This is just basic scientific logic. And you can, again, what I find interesting about AI now, just 2 years ago, if I were to look up this stuff, it was way off. Now it's really starting to get an idea, think on its own, do its own due diligence to get the right science to you. So you can ask these questions to AI, and it'll give you a good explanation as to why it's not the end of the world to do it, but in the long run, even after a few weeks of using dutasteride intermittently, you're essentially getting the same overall DHT lowering effect as finasteride, and it essentially kills any activity of finasteride. It just eclipses it. Let's put it that way.
So then, so you both have been at this for a very long time. I'm not going to count from 92 to 97 because that's not fair to dutasteride, but let's just say from 2005 and up. Have you two both seen better results from finasteride or dutasteride?
Well, dutasteride was approved in 2000 for BPH. So I have seen better results on dutasteride as far as like people just getting wow results, and even people who didn't respond well to finasteride. However, I've seen tremendous results in finasteride that you would not be able to tell the difference if someone was on dutasteride or finasteride, which, again, that's kind of anecdotal. But, I do think, as I am showing my bald spot unpainted in very bright light on camera on my Instagram, I'm like, this is depressing. And I'm thinking maybe I should get on dutasteride. But I also don't want to screw with it because I've essentially been the same. And just so you know, Joe, it looks a little better in person, but whatever. It's very bright light. But I think about it, but I've had no adverse side effects on finasteride. It has a very short half-life, which I always felt comfortable about. So I'm not going to jump to it. But would I get better results? Maybe.
So as far as you saying, because I didn't know this until you said this. So if dutasteride has this crazy long half-life, how come no one just takes that once a month, once every 2 weeks? I'm so confused now.
Well, say that last sentence again. I was just distracted by a text. You're confused about what now?
I said you said that dutasteride has a really long half-life. I didn't know that until just talking to you now. So knowing now that it has a long half-life, how come dermatologists don't just say, pop this one dutasteride pill once a week, once every 2 weeks?
Because they're not smart. I just have to tell you, I don't care. I love when doctors say, well, you don't have a degree. What do you know? And I'm thinking, listen, not for nothing, but somehow I'm the most read author in the world on the subject. This is all I do. You guys are, diagnosing basal cell carcinomas, and you're injecting people with hyaluronic acid fillers, which are damaging people, and you're doing this and that. This is all I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I appreciate that because I did not know. And I think another thing about the dermatologist is, just like you said, they might pay attention in school, but they also have to deal with skin, acne, dandruff, scarring. They don't specifically see. That's what I wish we had, a dermatologist that is hair specific.
There are a
that
few.
would be so much better.
There are a few.
There's a few out there,
Dr. Jerry
I didn't know
Cooley in
that.
North Carolina for one.
But what's interesting is a lot of these guys will have, and women have these long waiting lists. There's a chick here in, I think it's UC Irvine, extremely long waiting list, difficult to get in. And in the end, yeah, I mean, she has a tremendous amount of experience. This is her field of study, and would be able to answer some questions like we're answering. But I also know that everything's kind of like almost one size fits all as far as treatment.
I was gonna say you and the others. You guys are. Thank you guys a lot. You guys are far more informed than the dermatologist I went to. Just imagine driving 2 hours, and the goofball comes in, kind of hops on the table like a little toddler and goes, "Well, looks like we're not getting those results we wanted, so we're going to try duasteride." I didn't know the laugh in his face.
Well, I can I can imagine. And here's the thing: I don't want to dehumanize any of these people, but I understand. It's very difficult for me to see a physician for anything. I know too much. I know the politics of medicine. I know the business of medicine. I also know that every physician is trying to cover their own ass because it's a very litigious, society now, and also because of everyone's hyper concerned about online reviews, so they have real fear of certain things. I understand that, and I also know that a lot of these people are just a jack of all trades. That's how they have to move, and they worry about insurance payments and all this. I mean, it's not easy being a doctor. With that said, I am not a fan of those who are like, well, you're not, I don't listen to Dr. Google. I have a degree. Fuck that. Yeah. Meaningless. Yeah. Let me tell you something. It's a lot harder, and I'm just being honest. Sorry, doctors, you can let me know. It's a lot harder to do what I do than what you did. A lot harder. I had no rules to follow. I had no school to go to. All you have to do is get good grades, be a good boy and girl, and you get through.
Exactly. So then I guess I know you guys are obviously busy. I want to keep it too long.
You've been keeping us too long already. It's too late. Go ahead.
Too late for that.
So 10 months, and I said I can go over the sink and comb for literally a minute. And not even with a thin comb that grabs hair. I'm talking about a 6 combs. That's all I have. And at a minimum, there'd be 60 hairs. At a maximum, 100 to 110. So what is normal? If this medication was working, what is normal? If I was to stand over the sink like I'm doing and comb and it was working, what is acceptable shedding? 10 hairs, 5 hairs, 20 hairs? What is, in your guys' opinion?
So everybody's different. Okay. Some people they'll wash their hair and they'll have, 30 hairs that they see if they're counting, and then they comb their hair and they have 20 or 10 or 15 or, and then there's people who, when they wash their hair, they don't see a lot when they're washing it, but when they comb it out, they count 70 hairs, So it really depends. But if you're seeing 200, 300, 400 hairs, that's not.
I'm not saying that now. So currently, over the last 10 months, pretty much at 39 years old, I seen my hair shedding was picking back up. And I was like, well, fuck, I was like, time to give finasteride another try, but I'm so scared of this reflux, but I'll give it one more go around. And instead of 3 months and getting scared, because I always hear people say 3 months is a shedding phase. So I told myself, give it a fair chance. Give it 10 months. Matter of fact, fuck it, give it a year.
All right, so what's your shedding right now? And then Joe's got to eat. I can see it.
Right now on a very good day, probably 60. On a horrible day, 100 to 110.
That you're able to see, and that includes the shower and combing.
Yeah, that's not even showering. That's just me standing over the sink with dry hair, taking a comb, and just combing.
That's a lot then.
Well, hang on. Let me ask you this. You're shedding, and you feel like it's a lot of hair. And forgive me if this was mentioned before, but this has been a pretty long call, and my memory sucks.
And he's drowsy.
How does your hair actually look? Does it look like you're thinning?
If I was to dare try to put gel and kind of style, not
do you
a
look
bunch
like
of
you
gel,
have hair
I'd
loss?
like style it up. Yes, but if it's
every day, do you look like you have hair loss?
So it depends on you guys. You guys are. I mean, I would say the average person would probably say no. I have had exes in the past say it looks like your top's starting to. So for my age.
Looks like you what?
It does run in the family. My mom's brothers, my uncles, both have.
But you have no
tremendous hair
noticeable.
loss.
But the average person
I'm
would think
talking
that you have
about
no hair loss.
Oh no, I was just giving you guys a rundown of like my brother is 5 years younger than me. He's already a Norwood 6. The difference is none of these people are doing nothing about it.
And also, he's genetically
They don't care
effed,
about.
and you weren't. Just because he's your
Yeah,
brother
I would
doesn't mean you're
say-
going to have the same. Look, my brother, let him rest in peace, was like 5'7" or something. You know, and
That's funny. That's funny. My little brother's 5'7".
and I grew to I was once 6 feet tall. Now I'm like 5'11" because I'm old. But you know, it's just the way that it is.
I think
right now.
Sorry, I need to finish this. I think I figured out what's going on. You don't look like you have hair loss. More basically, like it could be argued. Maybe some people have said, "Well, it looks like you're thinning a little bit." You're 41 years old. What you're going through is it may be accelerated hair loss or telogen effluvium.
Called a midlife crisis.
But who's to say that you're not also going through an accelerated anagen where you got a lot more hair coming in or it's coming in faster to replace it? That's the only way to explain it.
That's why I'm on the phone with you guys, because I don't know. I mean, you would think in 20 years, yeah, I've heard of it all, oral spironolactone, Bickley, but to actually have two people that know what they're talking about, that both agree, instead of getting on Reddit, which I'm going to get off, since the gentleman said get off Reddit. I think I'm going to take that advice and get off of it. But yeah, when I finally get on the phone with two people that have,
I say this like I have seen this before, but it's when I'm talking to a patient face to face, and I actually remember Spencer, we have had someone call like this before, and I brought this up. It's like, okay, so you're losing all this hair, but how does your hair look? Are you actually balding? And they weren't. And so it just hit me.
If I can get on camera with just you two and not be put on YouTube, then I would show you guys what I look like right now. But I just don't want to be on YouTube like that. But I don't know how you guys have access to.
No, I'm not asking for that. I'm just telling you that, you know, it, like I've spoken to people face to face. I remember cases like this, not very often, but where someone's talking about shedding and losing a lot of hair, and I'm looking at them going, okay, but you're not looking like you're losing a lot of hair. So when you also mentioned that you're losing maybe on a good day 60 hairs per day, on a bad day on a good day 60, on a bad day 100 to 110, that's actually average for people that don't actually have hair loss, is 100 to 150 hairs, depending on, you know, genetics, demographics, whatever.
I know you don't like to be corrected. I'm going to say that seems average, but if you're just putting your head over the sink and you're getting that many hairs out, not washing, not blow drying, not, you know.
We were talking about through the day, not at one time.
That's exactly what I'm saying. No, I'm saying if I was to stand over the sink without washing, wetting, doing anything, just stand over the sink and take a comb, I can comb out 60 hairs at minimum in 1 minute. That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, if you guys want to get a hold of me off camera,
dude, that would be the greatest TikTok known to man.
I know, right? No, you don't have to prove it. I'm just trying to get clarity on what you're saying. So okay, so that makes sense. But again, you're not looking like you're losing your hair. So if you're losing that much hair, like that much hair is coming out into the sink while you're doing your combing, like there's no other way to explain it that the hair is being replaced pretty quick with new anagen hairs coming in and filling in the gaps, basically. So
I would like to agree, but like I said, I'm not fully sure on that. I would have to, like, okay, so the average person, if I had dry hair and didn't wet it.
Sorry, I got to interrupt. Because you're not fully sure, like, think about it. You've been doing this for, like, it's been going on for a while, for almost a full year since you've been on the medication.
What I meant was I'm not fully sure if people could tell I'm balding. Like an average person that doesn't know about hair loss, that doesn't really pick up on it right away, would they look at me and be like, you're balding? No. But with someone that has an intuition about hair, they'd be like, yeah, not really that dense. I mean, like, my hair is pretty damn thin.
Okay, fair enough.
You know?
But at least consider what I was saying, because I have seen cases like this before where that's exactly what the situation was. Like I can't say for sure they're replacing hair with a quicker anagen cycle, but their hair looked normal to me, and they're talking about the same thing you're talking about. So let's leave it at that, because we can't verify one way or the other at this point. But I think that one thing you can do, like, please, like I said, send me that information. Send me a write-up of what you're going through, what you're doing as far as your medical intake, and your continued symptoms. I'll fire that off to the doctors I work with.
Okay, and then
I'll see what they say about it, and I'll let you know. But and if you can send pictures too, that'd be great. I'd love to see how your hair looks.
Do you know how I send? Listen, I'm so far behind with technology. How would I send you pictures?
Just through the Instagram app. If you use your phone to take pictures, then in the app you can grab those pictures and send them through DM, through direct message.
Okay, what would that name be then, so I can make sure I have this right?
My handle on Instagram is @JoeTillmanOfficial.
Okay, and then for the last thing is, I did have the endocrinologist did blood test in the morning, fasted, DHT, if I remember right, was at 5.1, which she said is low, which is another thing. I told the dermatologist that when I went to Chicago, and I'm like, yeah, the DHT is at, I believe I said 5.1. And he's like, yeah, that's low. And I was like, what should that be normally if someone's not just like a normal? Well, I don't know. Well, what do you know? I mean, and then the free test was below average, which I don't know what that means. And then the regular test, I'm at 370. So regular test, 370, DHT, 5.1, and free test, I think was 3 point something, but they were all low, which that's why I just don't understand the shedding. It's also
I wish we had a crystal ball to give you a more specific answer.
I need to get me a crystal ball, and like I said, you would think if this was.
But I am starting a 1-900 hair psychic line in about a month, so I'll let you guys know when that's out there. But
definitely.
I know it did. You know how many people would sign up for that shit?
A bunch. I mean, you guys are smarter than you guys would take all the dermatologist appointments away. I mean, that's so. If the finasteride, let's just say, for instance, it was working, wouldn't my upper arm hair that's terminal, since that's DHT sensitive, if finasteride was working, wouldn't that, in all reality, start to go away or fall off my arm? I don't.
Theoretically, it can miniaturize or diminish. I mean, I definitely had that effect, but in some people it doesn't. And also, you're on low dose oral minoxidil, which it makes you it can cause hypertrichosis. So,
and I wasn't thinking that. And that's I kind of want to do a test theory for this reflex. I kind of want to know
if you are experiencing more arm hair and body hair now, and you've been taking both drugs at the same time, I can almost guarantee you it's because of the low dose oral minoxidil. Now, I know that you weren't taking that before in 2025, so now you're like, oh, wait a second, I had to some degree, the same phenomenon in 2025, right? Is that what you're thinking?
No, so I'm saying back in 2005 when I took finasteride with no arm, just so back in 2005 when I was 21, within 3 weeks I started noticing the high sex drive, the upper arm hair, actually upper leg hair too. But upper leg hair for men is normal. But I just
growing or losing it.
No, growing it. That's what I'm saying. This reflex it was literally, and I
okay.
was
So we can't necessarily blame the minoxidil, but the minoxidil will definitely exacerbate that in most cases because it causes hypertrichosis. Like if I were to take oral minoxidil, the couple of good things that I would see, I've always had very fine eyebrows, but there's hairs in there always. That would probably increase my eyebrow density, which would be a good thing, makes you look a little younger, and frames your face. And, but I would probably also grow more arm hair and body hair. So listen, brother, I wish we're going to go. I wish I can give you more specific, more detailed, specific answers to your specific issue. But, I'm not a physician, but the reality is in the practice of medicine, it's still mostly guesswork.
Okay, I appreciate you. So then, I guess last question: should I stick out with the thin for 12 months straight, or jump off it now if you were to make the decision? I'm not telling you I'm going to follow it. Just if it was you.
We can't give you medical advice, but I would say that I have known people who've been in similar circumstances who stuck it out for 12, 14, 16, 18 months, and then all of a sudden, everything reversed.
Okay, I appreciate you guys' time. I'll go ahead and send those photos over. I do want to give you guys a donation. I don't know how to do that, but since you guys have been far outweighed by any
it's so funny. I see these kids making bank on TikTok, whatever. We've never taken any money. What idiots! What idiots are we?
I'm gonna send. Well, just like you said, there are people that have no knowledge of hair loss that are just selling snake oil. If I'm gonna send money in donations, it's gonna be for people that actually give a shit. So
I'll tell you what, when the time is right, when we figure out how to take money from this labor of love, we'll let you know, all right?
Okay, otherwise, like I said, I'll get a hold of you guys on Instagram, and I'll just send it there. Either way, you guys are getting a nice little donation, at least some. I'm not rich like that, but I'll give you guys something for the time.
You don't have to give us. You don't have to give us. You don't have to give us anything. Just stay off our Reddit. Do me a favor, all right?
Okay, you have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
We are such fools, honestly.
I know.
I think just sitting behind this mic easily make $1,000 a day. Like, that's drinking money.
It is. It is.
I can move down to Colombia with our boy Mike, who I actually had communications with recently.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what he sent me a picture of? No, not that.
Yeah.
A beautiful young woman. That's his thing.
Exactly. That's his thing. Yeah.
It's great. It's amazing. I'm just like, this mother effer. Doesn't matter how old he is or he's banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time. All right, guys, listen, we are going to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Joe Tillman, the original hair transplant mentor, at Joe Tillman Official on Instagram. You can find me at Spencer Kobren on Instagram and on TikTok. Follow us, share our content, like and save our content. That's how the algorithm picks it up. And then all you guys won't be lost, and all of your, hair loss brethren might have a fighting chance. But no one really gives a shit. Who wants to help? No one really wants to help. Doctors don't want to help. The industry don't want to help. Consumers don't want to. I actually did a little poll in my private group on Instagram, and I asked, is it too much to ask you guys or my people in this group to like, save, and comment on my content? I had about 200 people say yes.
Yeah. That's great.
You guys can all fuck yourselves. Until next time, be strong, God bless, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the programme, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be